Hello and welcome again, Guardians, to another LootCave podcast. This is podcast number 33, and we are at February 3rd of 2022, approximately 10:04 Central Standard Time. And just so y'all could get a better look at my beautiful face. Hold up. I felt that a little bit higher than I'm used to. Okay. And give me just a second while I go ahead and well, first off, let me get my ducks in a row first. Okay. Tonight we are going to be talking about the TWAB. It was a big, beefy TWAB. I'm sure a majority of you already know all about it. Especially if you spend any time on the internet today. But we are here to talk about it, and a stream like this will, whenever we come across topics like the TWAB or whatever the case is when it comes to Destiny, this is supposed, the LootCave is for those who want to express their opinions and possibly basically so you can actually express your opinion and or if someone states something, or if a bunch of people are stating a bunch of crap and you feel like you want to kind of smooth out the rough edges of whatever the topic is, this is the place to do it. Doesn't matter if you like Destiny, if you hate Destiny, if you're a punchy fanboy, I don't care. Everybody's welcome here. Just don't be a dick about it. That's all I ask. It's that easy. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up the stage here. Maybe later. Let's see. Excuse my typing. Okay. Here we go. We are now live within the Discord. Just to kind of present it for y'all. This is your first time here. Here in my Discord, this is how we set up the call-ins. You just go to my Discord within the description. As far as I know, I believe that link is still good. And so if you want to check it to make sure it's still operational, I'd greatly appreciate that. Hell, I even shout you out. But anyways, once you get in here, you can actually join up here on the whenever I'm having the show within the audience, and then I bring people in and we discuss whatever the topic may be. It's pretty simple, actually. So I will leave that open, and let's go ahead. If anybody decides to hop in, I'm gonna go ahead and get this TWAB'd. TWAB'd. I'm gonna go ahead and get this TWAB up. I'm not gonna go through it verbatim, but I do want to go over some of the aspects of the TWAB, which today was a very, very hefty one. That's for sure. I was trying to read it at work and it took me like 30 minutes to get through it. It was hefty. Okay. Now my phone will just stop being stupid. Okay. Let's see. I guess we'll go, Bungie kind of starts off with their usuals. And but like I said, this was the weapons TWAB. It's usually that is always the heftiest. Woo. So basically at the beginning, just to kind of go over some highlights on this, and try to think off of my feed. Basically, they talk about how at the beginning of Witch Queen, within like the first 2 missions, basically will be the introduction to weapon crafting. And if I read it correctly, it sounds like it's going to be available for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're a new light player, if you've purchased the DLC or not. And because they did state, yes, it says here, early in the Witch Queen campaign, you'll be given an introductory quest that runs you through the ins and outs of crafting in the first and second missions of the Witch Queen. But it states, free to all players. Guardians will uncover the deep side ability and be introduced to the Enclave. So I believe that statement there tells me that it's going to be free and there is no you don't have to purchase Witch Queen, which I was trying to think, is that correct? They didn't really outright say it, but that's how I'm reading it. So because it does say free to all players. So basically when Witch Queen drops, even if you haven't purchased Witch Queen, you'll still go through that introductory quest. So they start you off with that, and basically kind of giving you an idea of how, because basically you start off on shaping your first glaive. And it's a brand new weapon archetype being introduced in Witch Queen. So, and it says, in order to just kind of skim over, in order to shape your future tools of destruction, you'll need to do a little bit of research first. Patterns are your first requirement. Some will be acquired through quest completions, while others can be earned by completing various gameplay objectives. Once you've earned your desired pattern, it can be crafted at any time with the required materials, and then goes in with the mixing, yada yada yada. Shows some let's see, they show a couple examples. A submachine gun and an auto rifle. It's actually pretty dope. Let's see. And they do have, let's see, once a weapon is crafted, Guardians may begin to increase its level by using and in activities by defeating enemies. So there is going to be a leveling up process with each of the weapons. So it sounds a lot like how it used to be in D1, where you would basically have all your perks, but you would level up to unlock those perks, and then you can have a whole complete pool of perks on that one weapon that you've been working on. So it sounds like they got a little bit of that mixed in as well. Like I said, this is not me going through it verbatim. Just kind of skimming through a lot of this because origin traits, I think, is a freaking amazing idea. Because they're basically making it where making different weapons of the same type feel unique, and they're going to be able to do it when Witch Queen comes out. Every weapon that's new or returning in the Witch Queen will have an origin trait determined by its source in a third trait column, including all new legendary weapons and all returning Trials, Iron Banner, and Nightfall weapons. Origin traits will only appear on new drops of a weapon. They won't be retroactively added to old drops. So I guess so all the weapons that you currently have, if I'm reading this correctly, all the weapons that you currently have are like, they're not going to have this. So you're basically going to have to rerun to get specific weapons. And looks like there are 14 original traits in total shipping in Witch Queen in Season 16. And they also stated they will expect to ship around 3 new ones each season after Season 16. For example, one for Season 17, one for the raid or dungeon, and one for the seasonal event, until they have one for each event. Then they go with when we refresh old weapons from a given source, for example, an exiting raid or old pool of seasonal weapons, they may create a new origin trait at the same time. And basically, they also do give you a whole list of what kind of traits we're going to be looking at. For example, I'll actually go over this because I do find this is going to be important. Shows, here are some examples. Trials of Osiris. And they give you names. I do apologize if I butcher the shit out of this. So, Alacrity, I believe that's how you pronounce that. Gain increased reload stability and aim assist and range when you're at the last living member of your fire team or running solo. So if you're solo or you're the last one, you gain plus 20 reload, plus 20 stability, plus 10 aim assist, and plus 10 range. Solo includes solo lost sectors and rumble, for example. So that would be one of those traits, and it looks like a trait that you would obtain on for Trials of Osiris weapon. And then Nightfall Strikes, Stunning Recovery. Stunning a champion partially refills your magazine, triggers health regen, and improves recovery for a short duration. Grants 60 health instantly, and plus 40 recovery for 30 seconds. So that would be a Nightfall weapon. I believe that would, if I'm reading that correctly, that would be if you're doing that with the Nightfall strikes. Crucible is another one. One quiet moment. English is hard. Grants increased reload speed when out of combat. Plus 40 reload stat when out of combat. Haven't dealt or received damage in 4 seconds. So that's actually, that sounds like a really good. For strikes, it's called Vanguard's Vindication. Final blows with this weapon grants a small amount of health. So and it's like 7 health. So it is small, but get a bunch of ads put together, you know, I'm sure that can add up pretty quickly. Let's see. Anytime it makes sense due to the source activity, a weapon will have multiple origin traits selectable. For example, Nightfall weapons can select between Nightfall and Vanguard traits. Trials of Osiris weapons can select between Trials and Crucible. The Pursuit weapon can select between the Gambit, Vanguard, and Crucible traits, since it could be acquired from any of these activities. So that sounds pretty interesting. Let's see. Oh, and yeah, this is another thing that I'm really liking. Weapon foundries, and it goes, they got like a whole little story thing between you and Banshee. That's pretty creative. And basically, just to go right to it, it says in season 16 we're replacing the old world loot pool with 12 new weapons in the style of Destiny 2 Year 1 Foundry weapon sets. 3 weapons each from the Soros. I'm going to butcher that name. Omoyan, Hanky, and Viest foundries. So basically, each of the weapon companies, I guess you could say. Plus 1 foundry weapon each for Vanguard, Gambit, and Crucible. So it sounds like, so yeah, with these, it's very interesting. Basically, and it shows a picture of each of the weapons, you know, for examples, and it'll say each weapon will come with a foundry origin trait themed around that foundry's personality. So, for example, Soros will get a reloading grants this weapon bonus handling and reduces incoming flinch for a short time. So basically, plus 40 handling, 20% flinch resistance for 6 seconds after reloading. Ooh, this shit's about to get crazy. Hanky, this weapon deals increased damage against vehicles, turrets, barricades, and stasis crystals. Turrets include stasis turrets. Plus 15% to vehicles, plus 30% to structures and turrets. Omolan, I'm guessing that I'm so bad with these names sometimes. This weapon has increased reload speed and stability for the top half of the magazine. Stability max plus 20%. Stability max plus 20. Reload max plus 30 reduces as the magazine gets lower. So basically, if you have, I think Cross, I listened to his video earlier, and he did make a good point that the perk that you gain stability as the weapon gets lower in the magazine. If you can have that balanced out, I believe it's dynamic sway reduction. I believe that's the one. And so when one gets lower, it basically helps equal it out. That could be pretty busted. The vest chances chance on damage to partially refill the magazine, weapons magazine. So as you're doing damage, all of a sudden your weapon can just automatically reload itself. And let's see, in addition to the foundry origin traits, each foundry weapon's perk pools lean into that foundry's identity. Big damage for Hanky. I'm probably butchering these names. Consistency for Soros ability ties in, and weird stuff from Moria. I want to say Moria for some reason. Never stop firing for Viest. Like I said, I'm probably butchering the hell out of these names. And if any time you're listening in to this, feel free to, put your opinions in chat. I'll read your chat as well. So don't be shy. Foundry weapons that drop from a source aside from the whirlpool can switch between the foundry trait and that source's trait. This doesn't imply that foundry weapons will be common outside the whirlpool. For example, a roll on a new Gambit Hanky high impact auto rifle, Herode C, which basically kind of looks like the half dandy, might look like this: corkscrew rifling, polygon rifling, armor piercing rounds, flared magwell, perpetual motion, focused fire, invader tracker. So basically they will have a tracker, which is a Gambit origin trait, and Hanky breach armaments Hanky origin trait, kill tracker, which is I guess going to be standard on all weapons, and range masterwork. So that's just to kind of give you an idea what these weapons are going to end up looking. Oh, like I said, this is hella beefy. And they also go with talking about fusion rifles. I guess I can go over this. The season 15 fusion rifle rework had a lot of moving parts. Rapid fire, precision, and adaptive fusions come out of this different, but all quite strong. But high impact fusions are hurting. We definitely seen all fusion rifles subfamilies occupy different roles and want to maintain the large differences in charge time to keep these distant for now. So we're nudging damage up to make it easier for these to land kills at range in PvP, and we are bumping the PvE damage scale. Excuse me. That said, they'll keep an eye on how they're doing and may adjust charge time down the road in a future release. kind of given. But basically, increased high impact fusion rifle damage per bolt from 62 to 64. This doesn't seem like a lot, but it allows more rolls to cross bolts to kill thresholds. Increased high impact fusion rifles in PvE for PvE damage bonus from 15% to 20%. And they state, we like that the crowd control capabilities of breach grenade launchers in PvE have taken off, but as it stands, there isn't a meaningful trade-off for the added utility that blinding or concussion grenades give you, and it's unreasonable that a way to really annoy other players in PvP can also one-shot them. So they are reducing blinding and concussion grenade damage by 25%. And rocket launcher subfamilies have lacked meaningful differences for a while now, and their free tracking precisions are flat out better. So we're pushing them further apart by adjusting damage. We may take a deeper look at rocket launchers later. So these are the adjustments by subfamily. Precision is the 0.95 times, high impact 1.0 times, adaptive is 1.05 times, aggressive 1.05 times, if you care to know any of that. For some of you, you may be thrilled or not. Some of you may like, I really don't care. That's the nitty gritty stuff. It's interesting. So let's see. And yes, sniper rifles. We took a big swing at sniper rifle aim assist based on zoom in beyond light, and having seen this play out, are revisiting the tuning on the zoom based AA scaling. Low zoom snipers get more of an aim assist reduction than they needed, and high zoom snipers are getting some pretty silly headshots right now. So they reduced variance in aim assist scaling between low 35 zoom and high zoom 60 zoom sniper rifles. Cone angle scalar increased by 25% on low zoom, reduced by 9% on high zoom. So there's going to be a sniper rifle meta. It's going to be snipers all day. But if you are a pulse rifle player and you love your pulse rifles take slightly too long to kill red bar enemies in PvE. We're buffing them, or we're buffing their damage versus miners by 10%. But if you want exotic pulse rifles to feel better at this, oh boy, keep reading. Oh my. I know I said I wasn't gonna read this verbatim, but it's almost kind of hard not to. You just want to keep going and going. Let's see. I get let's do this. Says it. Okay. Exotic weapons. I'll just go through this. Why not? Whew. I'm not much of a reader, guys. Just so you know. Let it be known. I'm not much of a reader. So this is obviously my reading is extremely poor. But we will suffer through this together. Okay, let's try this. Exotic primary weapons and trace rifles. They're not significantly stronger than legendaries, and harder PvE content. So they are increased. So they increase damage versus miners in PvE by 40%. Chaperone is getting a reduced passive range buff from 2 meters to 0.5 meters. Duality is getting a reduced passive range buff in slug mode when aiming down sights from 1.25 to 0.5. Pellet mode is unaffected. The on black wing damage buff no longer clears on reload. So that's for the duality. Teraba is getting reduces perk progress by half instead of clearing it on weapon stow, and increased Ravenous Beast duration increased for damaging a player slightly. Ruinous FNG, which I haven't played with that weapon in a long time, but they are increasing the damage dealt by guarding. So basically when you guard, when you pick up one of them orbs, and it's so they're going to be increasing its damage. It's a transmutation sphere, sorry, by 60%, 30% against players, and I guess multi-kills now count for orb generation. I guess previously only kills with the beam would trigger this. So now if you kill a bunch of ads while blocking, you're gonna create orbs. Awesome. Oh, Lumina. Oh, I love that weapon. It needed some love. It's getting a increased range stat from 44 to 59. Increased base stability stat from 46 to 56. And they apologize about Thorn fans, or two Thorn fans. Thorn is already strong and popular, and a similar buff would turn it into a monster in PvP. Agreed. Ager's Scepters, they're fixed being able to activate or continue using empowered mode while suppressed or stasis encased, and rebuilt the perk used to modify supercharge rate. Now freezes super recharge and reduces super directly, fixing several issues with activities that change charge rate and outliers for recharge based on intellect stack. Super should now drain more slowly while empowered. There you go. Dead Man's Tale is getting a reduced the catalyst hipfire rate from 150 to 130. Lawrence Driver is now getting an increased flinch received, so you will be flinched to death finally. No more shooting through flinches, and be able to hit your target with ease. Forerunners ammo economy. So they are increased ammo pickup from a special ammo brick from 2 to 3, and from 4 to 5 with a scavenger's mod. Oh yeah, okay, so that wasn't too bad if I set it up in that way. All right. Let's see. Now they also talk legendary weapons. Let's see how bad this one is. Yeah, we'll kind of go over this real quick. Hand cannons. The band for legendary 140 RPM hand cannons. Aim assist ends at 84, and this extreme should be for a hand cannon from a pinnacle activity like a raid or trials. Then when 150s were converted to 140s, many of their stats were either too low or too high. We're adjusting the stats of these to be within the standard range, up or down, as follows. An overall buff in most cases. Dire Promise +4 range, +3 stability, -4 aim assist. Waking Vigil +6 range, +5 stability, -3 aim assist. Jack, Queen, King 3 +3 range, +3 stability, -8 aim assist. Spare Rations +4 range, +4 stability, -9 aim assist. Ooh, Fellwinter's Lie? So Fellwinter's Lie is getting a +15% speed or spread angle. That's about it. So that's what you get. Most of the iClose SMGs stats are widely out of band for an aggressive SMG, but it does suffer from having a low zoom compared to other popular options. So iClose SMGs are getting a +1 zoom, -5 range, -7 stability, -8 handling, -5 aim assist. Typically, we do not adjust space stats on specific weapons at all post-ship, so we don't intend to do this regularly. And then they go into perks. But first, I need to wet my whistle real quick. Give me just a second. Let's see. Doo-doo. Woo! Oh man. Okay. So to really try to drive it home when it comes to the perks. First off, they discuss about the Hipfire grip perk. So now it increases damage, fall off, start and end distance by 20%, except on shotguns, sniper rifles, and fusion rifles. Adigo or Adigio, however you want to pronounce that, is now increased duration from 5 seconds to 7 seconds. Increased damage bonus, except on bows and fusion rifles, from 25% to 30%. Now adds +10 range stat. Added a timer to the buff text to make it easier to tell when it's going to expire. Dual loader. Oh, yes. Like, I like the idea of dual loader. It's just so painful to watch. You just like, I can literally load faster. I could dual load faster in real life than you can in Destiny. It's ridiculous. So, dual loader is okay on paper, but in practice, the reload speed is pretty painful. So they're reducing reload stat penalty from -50 to -30. Look out, dual loader is going to be better. I hope. I think it's a very interesting perk. Too many people are killing themselves with the danger zone, so they are reduced self-damage scalar from grenade launchers. Combined with other scalars, this ends up reducing self-damage from 1.25 times to 0.75 times, which sounds like to me like, yeah, you can almost use the damn thing like a shotgun. And let's see, tap the trigger is the meta breaking perk on a particular fusion rifle, which I did not know this. So on fusion rifles only, reduced ability bonus from +40 to +10. Changed maxed reload angle scale from 0.5 to 0.875. Changed error angle scale from 0.9 to 0.975. If any of that interested you, there you go. Unchanged on all other weapons. Headseeker didn't work as intended on aggressive burst pulse rifles because the buff's duration was too short. Scarred Providence is the only viable pulse rifle that benefits from this in Season 16. Although there is such a pulse in the season, it doesn't roll with Headseeker. But expect to see more in the future seasons. So they extended buff duration from 0.17 to 0.3 seconds. So now they want to talk about Eager Edge. It's a lot of fun to use. Yeah. So Eager Edge, they are reducing launch distance benefit while airborne by 25%. Now caps maximum player airborne borne velocity to a fairly high value while active. Occasionally, they are going to shelve perks because they are not working for some reason, too strong or too weak. This means we won't put them on weapons in the future unless we change the perk. It may cause in many cases we'd rather put design work into new perks than old ones, but there is a whole perks section here, so they given a list of all the perks that are being shelved. Bottomless Grief and Celerity, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I do apologize if I just Underdog, Shield Disorient, and Air Assault are the perks that are getting shelved. Will not be put on new things. Let's see. It's funny, I started out, I didn't want to read this verbatim, and look what I'm doing now. Let's see, near future in Season 17, we have a set of PvP focused weapon changes, including new ways for players to build for flinch resistance, balance tuning for primary weapons, looking at you pulse rifles, lightweights in particular, special weapon tuning, snapshots feeling mandatory in sniper rifles and PvP, other balance changes, other PvP's special ammo economy change if needed, adjusting how zoom outliers, both low and high, affect the performance of a subset of weapons. The scope column shouldn't be the most important thing on a weapon. This could take various forms, but the intent is to bring both high and low outliers towards the average to the overall benefit of the weapon archetype. And lastly, they're also adjusting several much requested exotics along with legendary perks. Like I said, this is hella beefy. I'm reading this and I'm already like an hour in. I'm just kind of scanning it. I can't talk. Okay. Prepare to launch a worm. This is something that pre-launch downtime and preload. This should be something that we all should know anyway, so I will go over it. To prepare for the launch of Witch Queen on February 22nd, Destiny 2 will undergo scheduled downtime from 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Also 0300 UTC on February 21st to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1700 UTC on February 22nd. Looks like a DMG note. As this TWAB is running pretty long, we'll do the math for you. The 1400 or 14 hours of downtime. We hope you can use this time to get some sleep, prep some tasty food, or do whatever your heart desires before diving into Witch Queen. With the announcement of 1 million Guardians already having pre-ordered, we're also expecting a bit of a queue as things open up. Please stay tuned for additional details. Yeah, we know. Ooh, oh boy. Yeah. And basically, Preload Witch Queen is planned to become available on all platforms beginning at 9 a.m. p.m. Pacific Standard Time at 0500 UTC on February 21st. Stay tuned for further updates as we get closer to launch. Launch, not lunch. I do apologize. Sometimes the southern accent comes out a little bit. Let's see. Shattered Realm. With the end of the season approaching, the Shattered Realm seasonal activity has been updated to a daily rotation from a weekly rotation. So now every day it's rotating. Players who wish to complete triumphs, seasonal challenges, or seals associated with the Shattered Realm should make sure to do so prior to its removal with the launch of the Witch Queen on February 22nd. So you got some work to do if you're still working on that, or if you haven't started. GM Nightfall catch-up node this past week. The next week in Destiny login messages incorrectly indicated that the Grandmaster Nightfall catch-up node had just became active. The Grandmaster Nightfall catch-up. Why does this? It's like ketchup. Catch-up node has been live and is currently available for players who completed the Conqueror Seal to be able to gild their seal. Ooh, so year 4 content vaulting with the launch of Witch Queen on February 22nd. Certain activities, quests, destinations, and items from seasons 12 through 15 and Forsaken will become unavailable to access. For a full list of vaulted and depreciated content, please see our guides below. So there you go. They're taking out a bunch of shit. Weapon cycling. The following weapons will be leaving the ritual rewards pool with the launch of the Witch Queen on February 22nd. Trials of Osiris, the Igneous Hammer, and Zola's Scar. Nightfall, the Swarm, Shadow Price, Uzumi RR4, Hung Jury SR4, Iron Banner, Multi-Match CCX, Time Storm Spire, Guiding Sight, Steady Hand. All of those weapons are cycling through. So you will not be receiving those in the pool. Players should make sure to claim all engrams and other rewards before the new season begins. Any rewards not claimed from ritual vendors, for example Zavala, Jax, Drifter, and Saint 14, will be removed at the end of the season. Dun, dun, dun. Use them. And they go over some known issues, yada yada yada. Pictures, pretty pictures on Twitter, yay. And then let's see. And their final thought, and like I said, I didn't even go through the entirety of this article. I really skipped out on a lot of stuff, but they wanted to this was a mega TWAB. Between now and launch, we have a few more little things to cover in TWABs, but we aren't expecting anything as long as this edition, which of course it always seems like the weapon TWABs are always the most lengthy. Ugh. My tongue is numb. Giggity. Anything as long as this edition. These next few weeks will be your opportunity to rest up before the launch of our next expansion. Get some sleep, eat well, maybe even soak in some sunlight if the weather permits. Of course, you're going to maintain a healthy lifestyle after February 22nd, right? Right, sure, There won't be any moments where you think I'll do the dishes later, or yeah, right. And then they give the sober note. Just in respect, I'll read it. Before we go, we like to take a moment to honor one of our moderators. We received tragic news over the weekend that I'm going to butcher this. Seraphim Crypto, one of our German community volunteers, passed away. Words are incredibly difficult to find here. Seraphim has been among the Destiny community since the start, pitching in to help anyone who needed an assist, or simply sitting back and relaxing among our forums to pass the time. We met him in person on his own home turf when visiting Germany for Gamescom or Gamescom. I'm sorry. and even had him come out to Seattle to help us with the community summit. Every exchange was positive, inspiring, and heartfelt. His love for the community was immeasurable. You could tell with every exchange how wonderful, unique, and passionate he was, and how much of an inspiration he could be, not only to us at Bungie, but to players of our worldwide community. Thank you for everything, Seraphim. You are loved, you are missed. We hope you are able to rest well, and we are sending our love to your family. So I figure I read that last part. So if you're just joining in, we just basically went through quite a bit of the TWAB, and but I did leave out quite a bit. Like I literally scanned scanned through a lot of it. So quick recap. Yeah, we talked about that. Pursue weapons in Season 12 compared to the random world options currently in the game. Origin traits. I don't think I skipped out a whole lot. I thought I kind of skipped through a lot of the extra, wordings. Just kind of get to the right to the just get to the point. Don't need all the extra flair and glamour. So I think it's going to be a very interesting world in Destiny whenever we come to Witch Queen. I wasn't expecting extra traits like what they're putting in, and it's definitely going to shape up how we pursue weapons. I think it's safe to say, I don't think any of this is going to work out particularly for I don't think we're going to be able to implement any of the weapons into the crafting pool that we already have. So I mean, if that's the case, I'm definitely going to go ahead and probably, unless if it's weapons I can't obtain anymore, like those special weapons that we get from time to time, I'll probably keep those, but I'm probably just going to clear out my entire vault, especially if it's weapons that I can still chase after and still use that are not completely sunset, and just save the few, and then also I'm going to save obviously my sentimental weapons. I got a ring and nail that's got Dragonfly and Rampage. I mean, I love that. I never got to use it very long either, because they implemented sunset. No, I got to use it for a little bit, because I think I ended up with 6,000 kills on the tracker, but it was still so good. But I think that was also during the time when I was really getting into the bow and hand cannon builds, which, I mean, back then, whenever we had the forges, I don't think we really had too much. There wasn't really much of build crafting, I don't think. Now that would be a really cool to have forges come back. Oh, those were fun. Those were a lot of fun. It's a lot better if you go in with a team though. But I do miss forges. Those were probably one of my favorite activities to do. So I'm gonna take me a quick drink. Whew. Tell you what, we're at an hour and 5 minutes into the stream. Whew. It flew by. Holy shit. Even for the fact that I'm here by myself. Ooh, man. Normally, I'm like just barely scraping by. So, I think we'll tomorrow, just kind of give a little idea for tomorrow. There will be a I think what we'll do is, I mean, we could kind of, like, if we get anybody to come in and talk about it, we may rediscuss the TWAB a little bit. I think and another thing is, I know I need to put out content, and I've been kind of thinking of other avenues to go about when it comes to, I don't know what to do with this, like with the channel. If I want to, like, I don't want to be like a news outlet. I don't want to regurgitate news about Destiny. Really, this, the LootCave is mainly for discussion and, throwing around ideas in a different way than how normally you see it, where people just, bitch and whine, basically, versus actually giving anything credible. Or, here's my thing. I work a manual labor job. I hate the idea when someone thinks that they can come in, that all they do is drive around golf cars, and they think that they know what the fuck they're talking about, trying to tell me how to do my job. And I'm pretty sure that most of us can relate. So maybe, reintroducing what actual constructive criticism actually means. Not this borderline bitching and whining about something because nothing is going your way. I see that a lot, and it's kind of irritating. But this is not just for me. It's bigger than me. It's not for me to build a platform so you all can just hear what I gotta say. If anything, I want to hear more from you. And yeah, every once in a while, I may not have the Discord that you see here. I may not have it open if I have a guest. Maybe we'll have like we'll have a private room and we'll just chit chat there. And that's how it was going to be. And then, I thought about, like, okay, let's say I have a specific guest that I find really interesting, and I really want to get to know that person. And, actually have a discussion about, like, whatever state of Destiny or whatever their thoughts are, of course. And then open up where, you, the community, can call in and ask questions and stuff like that. Of course, you would still gotta go through my process, which is not too bad. That being said, since we're here at the tail end, I don't know how many of y'all are going to make it all the way to here, but I will go ahead and point this out. I might actually make a video where it's just dedicated to discussing the Discord. So you understand what it's for, what it's about, what's available, and and if you want to give some ideas on any updates on what kind of changes you would like to see in the Discord, sure. I did add a nice little LFG section right here. One is Fireteam LFG, PvP LFG, and Raid LFG. And then I got 3 voice channels. They're open to anybody and everybody that comes in, accepts my rules, and becomes, a part of my Discord as a new light to start out, and you have a place where you can interact with others. Currently right now I have most of the people in here. I currently have 16 members, and most of them are in my clan, but I do have others that are outside my clan, and I like to be able to bring in more people. So I know I might spend that this weekend and actually working on that and trying to promote the Discord, the channel, really get the word out, because the algorithm is not liking me. It don't like me at all. So anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down, since we have nobody coming, and I will just close out of that bad boy. Goodbye. And voila. So, anywho, how many times I'm going to say anywho? Anyways, this was actually a really good stream. I'm pretty comfortable with it. I guess, to really be honest, I'm still trying to find my way with it when it comes to this kind of stuff. I got the basic idea of what I want to do, but it's still kind of a struggle. Trying to, because I don't want to be the next. I don't want to be, a streamer, like that just streams Destiny. It's more of, I want to be able to interact with the community. I enjoy talking. I can talk your ear off. Trust me, it's a curse, and I've put people to sleep before. So if I could really work on my, enthusiasm a little bit, we can actually bypass that a little bit better. But that being said, I think I'm going to head and call it a night, since we're about an hour and 12 minutes in. I think this would be a good stopping point. And if you come across this at a later time, you get this far, just as a reminder, feel free to subscribe, so that way, and if you want to hit the bell so you can be notified whenever I first go live, you will get a bell from here. And if you get into my Discord, you will also get a notification for when I start the show in the Discord. So do keep that in mind, because I understand if you don't want to get like a bunch of notifications blowing up your phone from 100 different places. So, but whatever you choose, you either choose to listen in here on YouTube, or you want to get into the Discord just in case, and maybe one day we can actually sit here and have a conversation. That would be awesome. So, but anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. So my name is Armalite. This has been your LootCave podcast number 33, and until we meet again, Guardians, you stay classy.